This is Jim, who has been blind for 3 years. And this is our hero, whose name is Phil. He's about to meet his first blind person. He's like many sighted people when it comes to knowledge about blind people. He's totally ignorant. And like most people, our hero doesn't know that he really doesn't know about blind people. He thinks he knows. Let's prove it by peeking into our hero's mind to see how he would handle this situation. Let's peek into Phil's mind again. Does he also have that old-fashioned idea that all blind people are beggars and should be treated as objects of grief and pity? That's what's in your mind. That's how you think blind people should be treated, isn't it, Phil? Well, you're wrong, and I'll prove it. But first, let's get Jim across the street. He won't hurt you. No, go ahead. Blind people are just like everybody else. They don't bite. Go up to him. That's it. And so he'll know he's about to be helped. Make it clear you're talking to him. Ask if you can help him. No, not like that. Let him take your arm. Then he can follow the motion of your body. Jim, like most blind people, will decide the most comfortable position for him. If you just relax, you'll make it easier for Jim to sense when you come to the curb. Hey, who's helping who? Good. At the beginning, you might tell him when you come to the curb so he'll know. You don't have to walk that cautiously. Pick a comfortable pace. And walk slightly ahead of him. No, not that far. Excellent. Walk in a straight line and avoid any unnecessary or sudden movements. Sometimes stairs present a problem. You see, it's not enough to tell a blind person that you're approaching steps. You must tell him which way they go, up or down. Also, you really should describe them to him. The height of the step, whether they curve. Good. Again, stay slightly ahead of him. You got the rhythm, Phil, and he'll sense when you've come to the top. But again, you might tell him. Our hero is learning. He's discovered that Jim doesn't beg for a living, but works as a computer programmer. Like some blind people, he wears sunglasses because sunlight hurts his eyes. But surprisingly, our hero has discovered that Jim has never tried French food. Phil is no gourmet himself, but that doesn't stop our hero.
All right, it's settled. Tomorrow at lunchtime, we go to the Le Soufflé.
Right.
And we take a look, we'll see, we'll find out what's on the menu, okay? I'm sorry.
Don't be. I use words like look and see all the time. They're an everyday part of our language, and as a blind person, I understand that. So don't let it worry you. Because when you do, you make me feel uncomfortable for you.
Okay, mate.
2 o'clock. Must get back to the office. Oh, you ever see a Braille watch before?
No, I just noticed it.
Well, crystal pops open. Run your hands
Yeah.
over it.
I won't break it now.
No. There are a series of raised braille dots that distinguish the hours for you. Simple.
You know, I'm afraid my hands are a little too insensitive. I'll probably break off the hour hand or the minute hand.
No, it's a pretty sturdy watch. One other thing.
Yeah.
I'm blind.
Yeah.
Not deaf. Most blind people can usually hear very well, and there's no necessity to shout, right?
I'm sorry.
All right. See you at lunch tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, can I help you?
No, I can manage. Thank you.
See you tomorrow?
Right.
It's easy, isn't it? Use words as you would ordinarily use them. Don't shout at blind people, and be at ease with them. So, you're having lunch with Jim. Now that's going to be a real test for you, isn't it?
Okay, pal, here we are. All right. Can I help you?
No, I can handle it.
Okay.
How much do I owe you?
You owe me $1.20.
Here you are.
Like most blind people,
Thank you very
Jim
much.
keeps track of his money by folding it in certain ways. Now, if he could only keep track of our hero.
I've heard a lot about lait souffle, but I've never had French food before. Where are you?
Phil, you can't walk away from a blind person without telling him you're leaving. He might think you're standing next to him and end up talking to himself. Go back and tell him you were reading the menu.
I'm sorry, pal. Here we are. We do not. Yes,
This way, gentlemen. I have a very nice table for you.
Ah, that's fine. Boy, this is someplace.
Where are we sitting?
Oh!
Gentlemen.
All right, mate. Here you go. No, easy, Pete.
Hold it. Phil, you can't push a blind person into a chair. Look how silly you both look. Let's use an old movie device and go back and help you out once again. Our hero forgot to use common sense. Lead a blind person right up to his chair if possible, so that he can feel it with his body. Place his hand on the back of the chair. Tell him which way it's facing. Usually, he'll get into the chair on his own hook. See? The easiest method is the simplest.
Starts out in one industry, such
Yeah.
as manufacturing,
You mean like a-
some addresses.
Right.
They get all their business.
Our hero doesn't know it, but a real problem is coming up.
We got the house wine
Oh,
for us,
good.
all right?
Good.
So let business stand aside. Let us have a drink. So, your drink is right. If you take your right arm, you go right straight ahead. Straight ahead. You go a little bit. No, take your left. Take your left hand.
May I be of some monsieur? I believe it would be better if I explain.
Yes.
Your wine is almost directly in front of you with your right hand. Your left hand is the apples, the cheese, the fromage, the bread.
Pardon.
During all the confusion, Jim has helped himself. Phil, you also need help. There are two ways out of this problem. One, remember those wartime movies? They'd say, bandit at 12 o'clock. The Air Force uses the plane's body as a sort of clock for quick location. Try it with your friend. Pretend he's facing a clock. He's at 6 o'clock. Cheese is at 11 o'clock. Pepper and the salt at 12. The fork at 7. The knife, then, 5 o'clock. Plate is at 6 o'clock. The bread and apples at 8 o'clock. The wine at 1 o'clock. That's one way. The other... Come on, Phil, use your head. Remember, the easiest is the simplest. Right. guide his hand to the different things and tell him what they are. À votre santé.
Gentlemen, would you like to order?
Yes. For an appetizer, escargot and coq au vin.
Right?
Coq au vin.
And what would he like?
He would. What would you like? Would you like? Does that sound all right to you?
I'll have the same.
He'll have the same.
Would you like something more to drink?
No, I think I'm gonna stay with the house wine. It's all right.
What would he like?
Well, he well, why don't you ask him? He can talk.
Good for you, Phil. You've discovered an important fact that irritates blind people. They can talk for themselves, and an interpreter isn't needed. Because they can't see, it doesn't mean they can't hear or talk. Of course, you have to be very resourceful with exotic and complicated food, but usually that's not the case. Generally, blind people will tell you if they want their meat cut or their bread buttered. If not, they'll do it themselves. This luncheon has turned out pretty nicely for our hero. He's made a friend, a blind friend. Bill and Jim, who both like art, will sometimes go to a museum during their lunch break. During that time, they'll argue politics, talk about raising their kids, and, well, they're friends. Now, if and when you meet a blind person, it might not develop into a friendship like this. And again, it just might. But the important thing is that you know what to do when you meet a blind person. If you do, you'll make life easier for him, and it'll make life more interesting for you.